What's up, YouTube? I got a little surprise and a treat for you guys because today we're taking a tour of the Quasdorf Blacksmithing Museum in Dalles, Iowa. Let's get started. This video was made in partnership with the Dalles Historical Society. Alrighty, so this is the historic Quasdorf Blacksmith Shop here in Dalles, Iowa. It's since turned into a kind of a living history museum. Well, kind of. We'll get into that later, I guess, but here's just a shot of the outside. This is a newer sign. The original sign is on the on the side here. So, and here's another sign. This is kind of the entrance to it. Used to be a blacksmith shop. Did advertise electric welding. Originally when this was first constructed. So this is, I want to say, I want to say this was built in 1898. I want to say right around there. So this started off as a blacksmith shop, or just the town blacksmith shop, and also a wagon shop. So they built their own wagons. As you can see, kind of over here is kind of where this is kind of where they built their wagons, right over here. And then over on this side, where we're at now, this would have been the blacksmithing area, and then also just here in the front is where they would have horseshoeing and ferrying for horses and stuff. So, yeah, big sandstone here, kind of like, well, that's actually a smaller one than the one that's set up right over there. But well, there is a second floor and a basement to this place. Currently, we're not allowed up in the second floor. There's some repair work and some stuff that I need to do before we can get up in there. So really just the main level. The basement, there's not a whole lot to see, but yeah, so we're just gonna stick to the main level for today. So here's the office. This also serves as kind of a little hardware storage area. But I was kind of looking through like the drawers and stuff and the file cabinets. It's really cool because it's got like old receipts and stuff up in there. So really cool. This blacksmith shop made it up. I'm gonna say that he retired sometime in 1984. But this blacksmith shop was gifted to the city of Dalles in 1990. Well, to the Dalles Historical Society, I should say. It was gifted to the town in 1990. When the man that owned this died, and he was a Quasdorf, So it, it stayed in the family up until its donation, and which is pretty cool. Oh, and he did run it as a blacksmith shop. Oh, here he is here. Be Frank Quasdorf. Or so. Oh, that's a picture of him there. Here, I suppose let's get on over to the forge. That's probably what most people are going to be interested in. So this is a brick forge. Here's, from what I understand, this is the original forge and is original to the building. I don't think it was ever replaced. I was told that later on they used this gas forge, which is kind of an early gas forge. I'm not really sure how it works. I don't even know if it's assembled right, to be honest with you. Ooh, but so this is what he used to have for a forge instead of using coal forge. This is one of the bellows that used to run the forge. Now it's been converted over to electric. I'm going to say that was probably done. I'm not sure. That was done before while it was still a working blacksmith shop. But this would have been what ran the forge. There was actually two of them, from what I was told. And this is one of them, and the other one's still in the basement. So over here, just got a whole bunch of wrenches, a lot of custom-made chisels, holes and stuff, and then this is all his tool rack, along with the swedge block. Got a whole bunch of fullering fullers. This looks like just a little off-cut storage area that he had. This, so I will say that this shop is built, or it's pretty much how it was left, just how it was when he retired. So other than a few things I'm sure that got moved around, this is pretty much how all the tools, other than like what's set up for display, like over here, this is all how it was set up when he decided his last day was as so. Which is pretty cool. Also, I suppose we'll move on. There's two anvils in here. They're both fairly small. Here's a 150 pounder. Not bolted to the table or anything. Don't look at that. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to say this guy's probably a 200-pound anvil. By the looks of it. And I do believe that this stump does go to the floor, or go down to the basement, if I do recall. Maybe not. And so, then over here on this workbench, this is kind of a blast from my past. There's a whole bunch of different rivets. Well, you see, these rivets are for sickle sections. And I'm sure there's probably no one my age that has ever had the pleasure of having to rivet a sickle section. Kind of like here's one sitting over here. And I guarantee you I bet you I'm the only one my age that's ever had to take one out and grind it to sharpen them up. So yeah, just kind of a little blast from the past. But here's just a whole Well, I mean, all these boxes are just different cyclical sections and then different size rivets. Here's some longer ones. And some, just another assortment of chisels and whatnot. But post vise, pretty commonplace. At least I got one over in my forge. Here's another. I'm thinking this got donated. Yep. So this was this forge was donated. This is just kind of pretty much the same forge I have actually over at my shop. It looks very similar. Here, so that's to the upstairs. So the upstairs, when this was an actual blacksmith wagon shop, so the upstairs is where they had their woodworking. So that's where they did all the woodworking. So cutting the here, let's walk over to the wagons. So this isn't one of their wagons, but it is just a wagon they donated. The picture on the wagon here would have been one of theirs. So just that kind of style of wagon. I'm assuming they made a myriad of different wagons. But so like making the planking, the seats, putting together the wheels, all the undercarriage and axles, all that was done upstairs. That's where they did all their woodworking. And then down here is where they'd come down and assemble them. So it's boarded up now, but this was original, another overhead door, kind of like that one over there. So here they got a couple of wood cranes, one over here and one over here, which is pretty cool. But let's head back over to the forge real quick. And let's talk about this guy. Hey, so this is a power hammer. Well, a trip hammer. It did used to run off the jack shaft up there, and from what I've been told, this jack shaft you can still turn on the jack shaft. It just doesn't run this. It's been converted over to electric, which it does work, which is pretty cool. Shut that off quick. Oh, but it was made in Dubuque, Iowa. This is kind of hard to read. I want to say Howie Tyson Works, Dubuque, Iowa. I'm not sure. It's pretty worn down. Oh. Not sure on the size. By the looks of it, I'm going to say this is probably either a 25 or a 50 pound trip hammer, I'm going to say. And I do know that this base actually goes to the floor. There's like a concrete pillar that this whole thing sits on. I mean, with this just being a wood floor or over a basement, you gotta have that. Otherwise, that's just way too much pressure. You'd be going through the floor at some point. Yeah, so kind of moving on. This here is pretty cool. So, back in the day, how it said on the sign, plow works. So all these here are plow points. Means plowshares. And this was actually kind of, it says it's an anvil. I don't think that sign's right. I think that's supposed to be for over here. But here, this is a plow point anvil. Also, it's got a specific curve to it and design. So, this here would be for me making plow points and stuff, which is kind of cool. And probably also putting them on the bottoms. And here's just a rack of them. I'm assuming after a while they just, instead of making their own, they would have ended up buying them. But they would still need riveted on, probably. Looks like maybe here's some that would have been bolted on. But pretty cool. From this would have been from pretty early. Early in the day, or early 1900s, I should say. This looks like where it kept older stock. Kind of like how I got my keep all my stock. Kind of. I keep mine up in the rafters, but if you look behind, they got a myriad of displays back there. Back when he did welding, or started doing welding, looks like he got a big sheet of iron good to lay down, so that way didn't burn up the floor. It does look like the floor is kind of battered from weld spatter here, but yeah, just pretty basic weld table. And I guess that's really all you need, though. I don't see. There's a welder there. Here, we'll go take a look at that in a minute. But look at this massive bench grinder. Just a huge one. And then wire wheel that's had some pretty good use. Looks like a strop. Opping disc. I'm assuming you could do plowshare, pestle, grinding, and polisher. There's some. Yeah, but that is a massive bench grinder. Here's to go down to the basement. I'm not even sure if they have lights on or lights for down there. But it looks like probably a concrete floor by the looks of it. Here's a little foot pedal grinder. Not up and running anymore. It's off the chain. But yeah, just a little chisel grinder by the looks of it. Here, I'm sure back before this had power, this got a lot more use. Look here, there's a whole bunch of different grinding stones up here. And just a big tool chest. That's all handmade. Got a bunch of different calipers in there. Some go, no-go gauges, some compasses. This must have been all his, where they kept all their measuring equipment and all that jazz. Not entirely sure what these are. Maybe some plow points or something. I'm not quite sure. They got a whole box of them along with some welding rods for a stick welder. But got a myriad of different stones. I don't know how well it shows up, but looks like these are all different grits styles. And then up there, those funny angled ones, those are for sanding or sharpening sickle sections. And so talking about over there, so that's an actual sickle section grinder. They look pretty rotted out, but I'm gonna say these are probably some felt or some stropping in buffs by the looks of it. Oh, this says it's a jig for converting steel wheels to rubber or tires or something like that. Kind of neat. Here, I do know, that this here is a custom built. I believe it was either Frank or his dad that built this. This is a custom rod threader. So for like making your own hardware, built this. Looks like it had a transmission on it. And you stick a piece of round rod in here, and it's got a tap here, and that would cut your threads. And I think it had automatic feed and all that. So that's really cool. Oh, this is original and homemade, which is wow. That's pretty cool. Oh, so here we do have some welders. This looks like a whole. These are just welding, or why is it escaping me? Stick welders, just some really old stick welders. Here's very neat though. Got his original mask. Got some gas or acetylene tank ink and stuff, and looks like he's got a whole bunch of filler rod and stuff. There's a bunch of right over here. There's a bunch of this must be where he had his different welding rods. So this must have been his whole weld setup. Another really old welding mask. Over here, here's some more shop tools. A huge hydraulic press. Yes, by the looks of it, run off electric, just a massive press. That's just a whole bunch of tooling for it down here for bending different stuff. By the looks of it, he bent a lot of sheet metal, used it for a lot of sheet metal work, and maybe some sheet metal bending. This here is pretty cool. I actually used to have one of these in my blacksmith shop. When I first started working in there, there was one of these tucked under the lathe. And this here is a rotary mower sharpener. So ran off electric, and here just a little grinding stone. So this would just get run back and forth. I'm not sure. I think this runs on a spindle, so this moves automatically back and forth. But it would just run along and sharpen your mower blades. Instead of having to just get a new one, you'd go bring it over to a blacksmith shop and sharpen it. And so that's really cool. The one I had, it was set up to run off jack shaft, which looks like this one maybe was originally E, but then they cut a groove in to run a V-belt. Horizontal milling machine. And so cutting keyways, stuff like that. Looks like it was originally a jack shaft and then converted over to electric. This is kind of how I have my setup up for my lathe, is just a transmission off an electric motor. This looks like the tool chest for all of that. Different keyway cutters and stuff like that. Over here, got the lathe, and you can really tell he spent a lot of time on it. because you probably can't see it too well, but this is the floor. You can tell where he stood. The floor has been worn down. See, it looks like he stood here quite a bit, probably quite here a bit, and then over here quite a bit. So the floor is actually worn down from just the amount of use. Oh, this says this is oh, that can't be for this. This looks like some sort of grinder. It's a weird. This is grinding stone, but it's hollow on the inside. It's almost like a big ring of grinding stone. So I'm not sure. But this guy's definitely for over here. And this is a beautiful, beautiful lathe. Hey, again, originally ran off jack shaft, like everything in this shop. I will say, so this jack shaft, or the jack shaft in the shop, unless it was for stuff upstairs, I believe they did have a few things that ran off jack shaft upstairs. But other than that, the jack shaft for this shop ran in the floor. I'll try and find an example of that. I know, like the big sanding stone that I forgot to show you guys. I'll show you guys there in a minute. That ran, so everything ran off under the floor, which is a little bit safer. Here, I believe the one that they have running up here, that is originally for stuff that they had upstairs, probably like a bandsaw, table saw, stuff like that. Had upstairs, and you can see that's where it come through the floor. So the motor is downstairs still. Also, but yeah, we'll keep looking at this lathe a little bit. It is a beautiful lathe. It's been still well taken care of. I don't know what they have for electric here and how well it runs, so I'm not going to risk turning anything on just to be safe. I do know that the power hammer is safe to operate, so that's why I turned that on. Here's just it's a big sheet metal shear. Just a foot powered one, and a bunch of rolling forms. This is a hand one. This one's electric. Here's a big old post vise, not a post, beam drill. That's what they call these. Say these big timbers here up here originally. Back when everything was mortise and tenon, instead of having, it bolted together or anything like that, they would use wooden pegs, and it would be mortise and tenon. And so this this drill here is what would drill the hole for your dowels to go through. So you would actually sit on this, and this is what would drill all your holes for your pegs to go through, kind of like right here. Here, I should have looked at it before I started walking around, but that very cool. Here's part of the so this would have been the wood, kind of a machinist table. Well, I'm not sure if everything is where they have it or had it originally. Some stone blocks, kind of like here. Here's some sanding stones. So you'd put a sandstone in there, and just kind of be a way to hold your block. Not sure about that. Just a big tub of files. Very cool though. So, Man, it would have been really cool to see this in its heyday, or at least when it was still in operations. So little fun fact: this is actually the town, well, I grew up near. So back when my grandpa was younger, this probably would have been the blacksmith shop that he would have come to get horses shoed, all that, any kind of plow work or anything, which is really cool to think about. I do need to ask him sometime about this to see if he remembers coming here to get horses or anything. Or because my grandpa actually started off farming with horses with his dad when he was younger. So that'll be, I'll have to ask him about that. Just a little modern a furnace Frank Quasdorf put in to heat the building. So there used to be, the jack shaft used to be run off a steam engine, and from what I've been told, and then when they switched it, they used a steam engine all the way up until they switched it over to electric. And then after, because the steam engine also heated the building, so when they got rid of the steam engine and they put in this furnace, obviously he wasn't making wood wagons by that point, so was able to take up some of this space with that. Oh, pretty cool. This here is this is a jack shaft grind, or big bench grinder. Here, this be where the jack shaft went. And wire wheel. Well, that might be a brass wheel by the feel of it. Interesting little sickle mower contraption, a little push sickle mower, maybe? Who knows? Oh, old scale. Looks like an old wheelbarrow or something. That looks like a massive shovel head that they put wheelbarrow handles on. I don't know about that. A garden hoe. Ooh, probably shouldn't touch that too much. Here's a belt bandsaw. So this is, so here you can see here, this is where in the floor the belt would go. So it ran down through the floor here. And here's some drill, just a post drill. This one actually looks like it's originally set up for electric. Usually a lot of these older ones, well, this is pretty seized up. Guys would convert them over to run off electric, but it looks like, maybe, well, I don't know. Who knows? I can't tell if this was originally supposed to run off jack shaft or off electric. It looks like it's supposed to run off electric, but this is a pretty heavy duty drill by the looks of her. It's all gear driven and all that. Looks like it's got power feed. Looks like it's got some stuff for that needs to go over to the lathe. Looks like some old lathe chucks there. Here's a camelback drill. So this is kind of like the one I got at my blacksmith shop. Just a hell of a lot bigger. This is probably 2-3 times the size. It's very cool though. Looks like it was at one point converted over to electric. Very cool. I'm gonna say this is all. So this is just a ratcheting feed then. That's kind of different. That's kind of cool. Never seen that. for. Here might have been, oh, yep, so here would have been your power feed for this. That's probably your on off. A lot of this stuff hasn't been used in years, so probably hasn't, oh, everything's probably seized up on this. This, here's a big pipe bender, or round rod bender, flat bar bender. So, they look pretty much the same as a modern one. Not a lot's changed on those. Here, this would have been their table saw. Very cool. This is probably, oh hell, I have no idea how old this would be. Oh, belt-driven table saw and plane. This is where the plane is. Aha. So, yeah, that's razor sharp. So this would be what need to plane the wood. Then cut it to length, plane it. That's probably for. Probably they'd have to make their own planks and everything, and when they did this, so. Yeah, latest and greatest for safety protection. So I'm gonna say originally, this table saw and that bandsaw were probably upstairs. There's originally when this was a wagon shop. Here's the original paint. So they'd lay this over a board and paint on their Quasdorf wagon. And so that's kind of neat. Yeah, got some tire benders. Here's a tire shrinker. So with these steel wheels, eventually they'll bend out or expand a little bit over time. And so every now and then you need to, I want to say like every 2 years you'd have to bring in and get your tires shrunk. Which it kind of, probably not mess with it, but yeah, you're kind of just, it's almost like crimping a little bit, and then you would forge weld it so it down on, and then it would kind of shrink back into place. Then I do know that some people, they would cut a bit of the wheel or a bit of the tire and then go and forge weld it back together there. So I think this is probably just a little bit faster way of doing it than that. But here's here, like eventually either your wood's going to shrink or your tire's going to expand, and then it'll just kind of get loose over time. No different than having to replace the tire on your cars. There's a bunch of old tools. One tool that apparently no one can figure out what it is. I'm not entirely sure myself. Old potato plow right here. The iceless refrigerator. I'm not sure. It's just a stand at the moment, so I'm gonna say it. Not all of it's there. Here's a lot of their woodworking tools. So a bunch of different planes, hand drill, some old files and rasps. So here's a tool for assembling the jig. So here'd be the hub and your spokes. Oops. Yeah, here's the little spoke shave. Wheel buck, holding a device for assembling hubs and spokes. Very neat. Got a couple of wheels there. Very neat. Oh, maybe this does open. There's a counter. I just kind of noticed there's a counterweight, so this must just slide open. And there's a solid door. Very cool stuff, though. Okay, so that's kind of it for the tour. So it's probably longer than what it needed to be, but oh well. You got a good look at everything, at least. So a little story on how I decided to come over here and give a tour of this blacksmith shop. For those of you who don't know, I grew up, well, just outside of Dallas. I grew up out in the country, but Dallas is the town we're closest to. Originally went to school here until the school closed down. Yeah, so I consider Dallas my hometown, and I actually used to come out here and watch the blacksmith out here when they did demonstrations during our town fair. That's actually how I kind of got started blacksmithing, and was coming out here and watching, and at least gave me the idea too. So, yeah, but I'm going to be out here a lot more actually, because I'm actually working with the Dallas Historical Society. And I'm going to be filming some videos out here this winter, and just to kind of help give them a little bit of promotion and stuff, and that gives me the opportunity to come and work in the blacksmith shop that not only is the blacksmith shop that inspired me to become a blacksmith, but this is kind of a town own, this blacksmith shop is a year younger than the town. So it did replace a wooden blacksmith shop, but this physical building got built a year after the town was founded. And so this is kind of a mainstay of the community. And I'm kind of at that stage where, I kind of want to start doing stuff, to help out my local community and stuff. So I'm kind of at that stage in life. So, yeah, I hope just be ready for some more videos out here. It's going to be really fun using this power hammer. That'll be really helpful for all these Knife of the Month videos I'm going to be putting out. But yeah, I am just super excited, and I hope you guys are too. And I know this was quite a long video. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all next time.